I'll start sharing some information about the sign-up sheet and today's lesson presentation. So I'm going to try to share my screen. And I hope you don't hesitate to unmute yourself if something doesn't make sense or it seems like I'm talking about something that hopefully I'll be talking about the right screen I'm sharing. And we have a lesson set up and we have a sign-up sheet. And so we're going to take the link to this sign-up sheet. And the sign-up sheet is really only required for LAUSD teachers that want to get MyPLN credit. Uh, so we'll put this link in there. And then we'll get started in just a few minutes after 3:30, and I'll help everyone get into Skies, and I'll ask a couple questions over here in Skies. Now, some of you may already know how to get into Skies, and so what we'll also do is we'll take this link and we'll help you guys get into Skies. So we'll share that this link in the chat, and we have a breakout room set up for technical support. So anything doesn't work, just put it in the chat. Don't hesitate to unmute yourself, and the link will take you will take you to a login page, and you should notice a familiar Google icon button that you can click on to sign in using your LAUSD or any school email. And if any guest today for the Getting Started in Skies workshop uh, uh, is not using a Google, that's fine. There's other ways you can sign up, but this is the fastest one, and we'll talk more about signing up briefly later, because students sign in. A lot of them click on this unless they're maybe younger using iPad. So we'll talk more about that. But when you go into the lesson, right now we just have a couple cards turned on welcoming you. So welcome everybody to our summer Getting Started with Skies workshop. And anyone here who is also trying to get the MyPLN credit, which you can get for today's workshop and tomorrow's workshop, please fill out the Google form, and you should see a link in the Zoom. And you can also click on the card in Skies. Skies lets you put everything in one place, and I'll talk about what Skies is in a second. But there's the sign-up sheet. So I know some people want to make sure they get the sign-up sheet, and we'll have another one that we'll share the sign-out sheet. So welcome everyone. I think we'll try to get started. I'd like to give you guys all as much possible time as possible to play with Skies with our support. So so when if you would, I'm sharing my screen, and I'm sharing my Skies lesson for today. And so just so you know, if you're ever stranded and you need to find Skies, we call it Skies for short, but it's actually Skies Learn. And it'll be the first link. And when you go to Skies, typically we recommend you just click the Google button and you log in. That's what the kids do, and now they never have to worry about logging in. If you're using iPads, working with really little kids with special needs, the QR code caught your eye, and they're easy to set up. We're happy to set them up for you. And today is mostly about getting started with Skies, and we talk about the benefits of for students, the students' benefits. They get feedback from you. It's easier to give them feedback. It makes your life easier because the grading is streamlined. But we're going to talk more about that in the advanced course tomorrow, where we practice doing some grading. So anyways, hopefully if you're clicking on the link in the chat, it's taking you through here to this lesson. And right now you can only see just the beginning of my lesson. which has the sign-in sheet if you want to get the MyPLN credit. You can also find that in the chat if you have any issues. My name, in case you don't know me or recognize my name from an email that I sent, and I'm sorry, I try to not spam anyone, is James Maloney, and we're here with two other team members, Ami and Carla. And so we're half the Skies team, and uh, and, and I'm one of the co-founders or creators of Skies, um, and so you can ask me anything. You don't need to, I'm not, I love hard questions. Me and the other co-founder, Julius, went to Caltech to do science. So we love hard problems and we love listening to teachers about what you guys need to make your lives easier. And so when you work with us, it's like you're getting to work with a developer and you're like, hey, I want it to work like this. And we say, okay, so what is Skies? Um, Sometimes you're going to see me jumping over to um, the lesson in teacher view where there's a lot more stuff. You can't see card number 1, which has reminders. And you just see this oops, uh, more limited view as now you guys today I'm pretending to be the teacher. Like I just kind of want to mention what is Skies, but Skies is really a way to make and deliver lessons and to be able to make it more engaging. And so I had this card that I wanted to remember. I usually do an SEL activity and ask people like how they're doing and what school they're from. And so I wanted to make one of those on the fly. And this time I had some slightly different questions. And so I thought I'd show you what it looks like when a teacher's kind of, making a lesson. Usually the teacher makes the lesson before they're teaching the lesson, but a lot of teachers will share these great anecdotes about how, the lesson that they had, they in real time, like, they thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to ask my kids this question. And so I just changed it and then I got their feedback right away. So I'm going to add a card and I'm just going to ask you guys, what grade do you teach? And I'm curious, what grade do you teach? And what subjects do you teach? And so I'll just uh, hit save and um, and then I'm going to click so right now, this white card, let me make it blue. I think from your point of view, you guys can see it now. It appears. I like to do this sort of magic show when I'm first going into classrooms and I'm like, do you guys see the purple card? Okay, well, now you see it and now you don't. Because in the student view, it disappears. It goes off. And teachers are just so wowed by that feature. And I know why, because it was one of the first features that a teacher told me like 10 years ago. They said, can you just make like a version of PowerPoint where I could turn slides on one at a time? Because deliver the content to the student. So the hard was there's not really a way for you to respond. And we tried to make everything in one place in Skies, everything organized in one place. So if I click respond, then you guys can actually type a response. And so I'm going to turn this on again. And from your point of view, sorry if it's getting too many cards. I'll turn the first card off so you just see a couple of cards. You should see a button if you look below the card, and that's where you can press the button. And I'll answer it too. Here I am. I'm James, um, uh, and um, I um, I work with ETK through 12, actually, and some college classes. And so I get to help with all subjects, quite literally. Now, if you have problem posting to Skies, don't worry. This is just kind of a demonstration to kind of illustrate, like, what's the whole point? Like, why is Skies different? it's the ability for you to take all the different parts of your lesson, have them organized more better in one place, but then deliver the content to the students and give feedback. So I can already see that 5 other people have posted, which I'm like so relieved. Of course, I'm always nervous, like, is anyone going to participate? But, and then people see other people are participating, and they participate. So we have a fourth grade teacher from Castellar. So fourth grade would be includes everything. Sixth grade, but math and science. 6 through 8, special education, mild to moderate, awesome. And second grade, all subjects. Sixth grade, ELA and social studies, cool. Fifth, all subjects. Second grade, all subjects, great. Thank you so much. And um, and uh, and we're going to talk more about grading in like the advanced one, but I think the really great thing about skies is like the feedback. Like for all of you guys, I can say, you know what, thank you all for giving me feedback. I'm going to give you all 4 points, or if I want to, I could actually kind of just for fun go through and pick the people that didn't give a complete sentence, and which included me, and give them a 2. and and so, like, kids love to, like, here's me, right? I could, go back and say, I, I work with and get to help all subjects. And then now Skies like kind of notifies me that oh, I need to go back and fix the student. And so it's just trying to make this process of helping the teacher taking all their materials that they want to get to those students and get it to them more easily, but then also give them the grading and the feedback. And the grading and the feedback is pretty sophisticated. It's the most like cutting edge thing, because like Julius, he's incredible, like his innovation. So we'll talk about like that stuff tomorrow. Today, we were gonna talk about just kind of the basic elements of Skies and let you guys practice making lessons. So if you guys aren't able to use Skies for this part, please also, put it in the chat, because I'm also genuinely interested in, even if you weren't able to get in post right here, everybody, what grade they teach and what subjects they teach. So please, if you can't share it here, share it there. And there's one other question that I wanted to share, which I'm asking all the teachers that I'm meeting with, is do you have any students um, in your class with IEPs? And uh, what are the challenges um, you have with IEPs? I'm going to try to write that kind of very, very general. And I'm going to let you guys respond. And I'm just going to mention for just a second why I'm asking you guys this question. And so um, um, we are always trying to improve Skies, and Skies has the ability right now, already has the ability to take any materials teachers use, have them organized into one place, and make it easy for them to get the material to their students. And if their students have a special need, if they're moderate to severe, or some other kind of special accommodation they need, with Skies, it's built in. You can say, okay, I'm going to let this student respond verbally, or this student respond, by taking a picture, or by documenting what their progress. And so um, we automatically put stuff into a portfolio, and we're trying to innovate Skies, and we think that one of the places we could innovate it is by making the IEP process easier for teachers. And so we're kind of wondering, how many teachers would this impact? So that's why I was asking. I'm very curious, if you guys don't mind sharing, like, how many of you guys have students with IEPs in your class? Because we're hoping to do something that could help a lot of teachers. And these days, I feel like most teachers have some students with IEPs in their class. But then also the challenges you face, like, because it seems like a lot of teachers put in a lot of work when they're trying to fill out and do on all these IEPs. And so we were thinking that we might be able to make this whole process really streamlined, so that teachers could uh, yeah, try to save teachers a lot of time when it comes to things that they have to do with IEPs. So if that's something that impacts you, I would love for you guys to share right there. And you can always go back and do this later, because the lesson's not going to disappear, and you can always go back and edit your card. So That was like skies, like everyone has seen kind of how like what skies is now because I asked a question and I got a response. Uh and uh so I'll just kind of turn on this related card that that's why people choose skies is they can kind of have everything organized. You can save a lot of paper. I'm not against paper. I love all the cool paper craft that I see teachers doing and documenting of work. And I used a lot of paper when I was a calculus teacher because I really wanted to see students' handwriting and make sure there's subscripts and superscripts. And, so I took a lot of pictures of my students took lots of pictures of their work. But you can have all of those different elements organized, saved, and then you can give a lot more feedback and grading. And for those of you in LAUSD, there's a button you press for Schoology. That's also discussed in like the advanced session. So that saves a lot of time. And for those of you using like Google Classroom, we have the Google Classroom button. And again, that's kind of in the advanced. So today what I was going to be talking about was kind of like filling in paper. We already kind of did some filling in paper. I asked you a question, you guys responded. It's kind of digital paper, but we're also going to talk about worksheets. And then audio and video. That's the other thing that's huge that's used for skies because people at all depends on what age the students are. They're recording themselves and having conversations and providing things or recording themselves learning how to read, and also then how to chunk things and break things up if we have time for that. um, uh, I want to then get split up so that we will be able to let you guys work on things. And so we have support today from myself, from Ami, from Carla. But if you ever need support when you're using skies, one thing we want to make sure that you know how to do today is you'll be able to see buttons in the corner. And one of the buttons, help now, will get you in touch with us right away. And usually you have a chance to talk to Carla, and that's who she is right there. And she has tons of videos and maintains our database of I'm turning cards on as I talk about them, just so you know. I'm doing this sort of instructional practice that I learned from teachers, but I'm not talking about it. So maybe I'm just kind of breaking the fifth wall for a second, just to point out that I'm turning on these cards, and if you're looking at the skies, you're seeing more cards turn on. So I'm over here presenting, but I'm turning these cards on so that you can see them. So this card was a similar type of card to the form where I click on the link and it takes me over to this database where you can see a little cheat sheet and a little video and you can search. So if people that heard me talk about Schoology or Google Classroom earlier was like, oh, how do you do that? You could go here and you could see, oh, this is just how I do that, and boom, it's done. So we really want to make sure that you guys know how to get help because our support is the best that you'll ever experience. And we'd like for you to tell your friends about it too. And so speaking of friends and sharing, I'll turn on, there's two cards that I'll turn on. We have a YouTube channel where we have playlists of like how to get things ready or do different, types of activities. And then we also have a Facebook page. So please follow us so that you'll see when we have things coming up. Um, so this has been kind of a lesson. If I look at this from my student point of view, um, then I see that there's these cards here, and maybe there's about 10 cards, right? It's like kind of a Google slide, and some of the cards I can respond to, and and so uh, there's you can organize all of your lessons. So this is one lesson. And so there's a button that in the upper corner that has 3 lines. This is our menu button. And teachers in like first grade, like ETK will taught us to call it the hamburger. So hopefully you see the hamburger right there, and you can practice this with your students as they're getting used to skies in the first few days. Hit the hamburger. So if you hit the hamburger, there's going to be other lessons, and you'll see actually sub lessons. We call them lessons and sub lessons. It's just an outline, and you can organize it however you like. A lot of teachers will do it like this. A lot of teachers will do it by week and day. And if we click on the one below it, filling in pages, we're going to talk about this one, which is basically how to add a card in Skies, which could be like text or a PDF or document, and how to answer the cards. And so here we have two cards, two worksheets, and you can see that they're set up so that students can respond. And if I, click this button and respond, um, the worksheet does something automatically because in this case, it's a nice quality worksheet that has dotted lines that are supposed to be for cutting and pasting. And Skies, using, math, algorithms, like, AI type algorithms, that Julius used from teachers' worksheets, trained it to automatically detect the lines, which saves you time and it saves your students time. They love it. It's fun. It saves time. And I'll also show you how it saves you time when we talk about grading and like the advanced class. But you'll notice if I just take my hand and like click, I can like move things around, right? And so I can, put it here. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. Let me put it here. Okay. Um, and Skies does this automatically. So if you have a worksheet, it will do this, and I'll show you how we do this. So today, when I'm going to let you guys make a lesson, I hope you guys can find a worksheet to practice using. Now, you don't have to necessarily find a drag and drop worksheet, but I'm just letting you know ours is like one of the most sophisticated kind of systems. And when you go back and actually look at your students' work, you can actually, this is a timeline at the top, and you can actually see how they did it. It's really cool. We have a lot of dual language schools that have students, letter tracing or writing characters, and teachers can look at it. It's very sophisticated. We won't get into all the details of the worksheet, but um, to put in a worksheet, all you have to do is drag it in. And so I'm going to go over to there, and I'll just show you. So here I'm going to open up a worksheet. So here's a worksheet, and I can drag and drop, right? So I can just take this file and just drag it over here anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can see how the background turned blue. It's just drag it, and then it will separate the worksheet, which means it'll put it into a Skies card, and so you want to choose separate pages, and that's the default there. So I'm going to import that. This is just one page, and that's it. Then it's there. You can see here's the worksheet that I just imported, and then if I want the students to be able to uh, fill it out, I'm just going to move this at the beginning so it's easier for me to see. Um, so it looks like, yeah, great. I'm going to turn this off. So from your point of view, you guys should see two worksheets if you go in here, and you can actually try it on these if you like. And you can click, I'm going to click responses, but this time I'm going to click on a different picture. So last time when I allowed you guys to respond, I just left it on the text. This time I'm clicking this icon to annotate to let you guys fill it out. And as a teacher from this panel, I can hit a demo button and I can demo this. But as from your point of view, you guys should just see two cards. And if you look below it, you should see a big button. It's always the same looking button, and you press it and you can annotate. And I mentioned in the previous card, you can drag things around. And I talked about students tracing. So yeah, by default, you can write. However, if you're writing, if you're typing, if students know how to write, then you want to press the T for typing, and then here they can, type. It's much easier. They like the fact that they can, type in blue or red. It's, they can press tab and go through things easily, and it also makes your life so much easier. But we talk more of that in the advanced one, but in terms of looking at it all, and then you can just say done. So today, when you're doing the lesson, it's great if you get to practice bringing in a worksheet, because you probably have some worksheets that you could use. And if you uh, aren't someone, when we go into the breakout rooms and we're helping you, if you're not someone who is good at like dragging and dropping, we have an import button so that you could just import document. And maybe your worksheets are like Google files, like Google Slides, because someone was telling me recently, like, oh, we get so many. This teacher, and she was saying, oh, we get so many Google Slides, and it's like great, like uh, put the Google Slides in there, and sometimes the Google Slides are something that you want to, write on. Um, and this is one of those things that teachers tell me all the time makes their lives easier, and also students tell me makes their lives easier because they say, again, here I'm going to just do a worksheet. This is a Google slide, and we'll walk you through when we do in the breakout rooms. Anybody needs help, but I'm going to say separate pages, break it out down, and so uh, you know in most of your lives, your teaching lives, you've got your lesson. You got to try to help the kid get to the lesson. Um, and then you also have stuff they're supposed to do. And then uh, they have to get to that, so it's like, maybe like your district gives you some slides that you can use, but then there's this part that's like a worksheet, and it's like, well, how are they supposed to do it? And you have to figure out some way for them to do it. But then with skies, you can always just do it there. And teachers say that's great, it's all there, it's all in the same place, it's all organized. But students also actually say it's like a paradigm shift for them, that their whole lives they've had to try to find their teachers' lessons if the teachers make it available. But then when they have to do the work, the classwork or the homework, they have to find that, and they have to get it there. It's like, here we could just have it in the same place. So again, I turn this on and I say, you can fill it out. And then when the students respond, it's easier for them to just like type in these boxes. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that off. You guys don't need to do that one. So the first two are there just in case you want to like practice. So this is sort of filling in pages. You can drag in worksheets or import worksheets or from your Google Drive, and then allow students to respond. And uh, and then we can also just answer via text. And so I was asking you guys that, earlier. I already sort of put the already did that part, because I was asking you guys about this IEP question. It looks like 11 of you actually had feedback. Um, and it looks like quite a few teachers, but some don't have any. But you also have like feedback. So I hope it's okay. I might one thing about working with people like us is that sometimes there's something that we can do to make your life easier, and then we do it because that's like our passion. So if you have a question that you can just put in disguise. You can just, make a card with text, ask a question. I'm going to type hidden so you don't see it right away. And then allow the students to respond. And I think that was the other thing is, how to answer cards. So here they could, the default is that, they can answer them by typing. And that's why this says the allowed media is text, and the T symbol is turned on. But there's all these things you can do. Teachers literally say to me all the time, like, I can do anything. I could, if whatever I want the kids to do, it's one of these options. Or if it's Google stuff, there's also those options. So we're not going to get too advanced today. We wanted you guys to practice doing something where you're going to be asking students, ask a question. You could use text, or you could pull in a worksheet or a Google slide. And that's like one of the huge things, clearly, if you guys see how much time and paper and effort you could see. And I mean, that's not even thinking about the grading. When you see how the grading works, that's huge time saver. So we'll jump into audio and video. And so to get into the next sub lesson, you just hit the menu button and then go audio, video. And then here I have a card of kids playing soccer, and it says, please describe what you see in the picture. And I made this card by just using the image search feature that's built into Skies. I just said, kids playing soccer, and I had 15 pages to choose from. So, I pick one that you like, and then ask a question. And Skies is used a lot with, I mean, it gives testing and assessment like a good name, because teachers are like, oh, with this, it's easy to actually document what the kids are doing. So then I can go back and check it. Like if they're working in stations, I can't hear everybody. Um, and so you'll hear if I ask him to like, please describe what you see in the picture, then uh, I'm gonna again say hidden so you don't see two cards. All you do is allow them to respond, and then instead of leaving this text on, you turn on the microphone. And um, right now, when I turn on the microphone, the allowed media says it's text and it's also record audio, which means the students could either type some text or record audio. They'd have a choice. They'll when they try to respond, they'll get to pick which one. And if you want them to do it one way or the other, you can turn things on and off, so that they can only do one thing, so that when they try to respond, they must record. And it's so nice when it's just right there. You don't need to worry about like using a different sort of program to record audio files or video files, right? You can just say, um, I see kids playing soccer and they're wearing blue jeans, and uh, there's a boy running with black pants. And so we see this sort of stuff done at like lower grades when they're studying for like different sorts of LPAC testing. But also, we see the same exact thing when older kids are describing what they see in images from history or whatever. Um, and I see kids playing if soccer. I play it, it just plays right back. The students can retake it. And here's something that maybe, if you don't mind, just like another instructional thing I'll point out, because it can be hidden, is that when you when the students do it this way, there's two really cool things that I observe all the time. One is that the kids will play it, not really like it, and retake it. I observe a group of kids, and I can do it pretty good the first time, but most kids, they do it the first time, and they're like, I can do it better. And they do it a few times. It's like they're doing several drafts, and the teachers tell me how beneficial that is. They get one they like, then they save it, and the thing is, the teachers will be helping anybody that needs, help getting that done, but almost, everyone else gets it done, no problem. And then the teacher goes through all of them, just like you saw me going through the other ones. And so I just love hearing from teachers all the time that when they do something this way, they get to hear from all the students, because the teacher, like, this is a direct quote. The teacher's like, when I ask the student, it takes time for them to process the question, get it, they don't get the best delivery the first time, but when they're all doing it in parallel, I can give them extra time. They can get a really good recording, and then I can just play them all. Boom, 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 boom. We hear from everybody. Everyone's represented. So audio and video is really great. K-12. And then a lot of times, yeah, I mean, reading again, like when in the older grades, you have kids recording, discussions, various things. At the younger grades, just being able to like put a reading passage, and then having the kids record themselves reading. You can set a recording limit for 1 minute, and they'll get a little notification that they're like done. I'll just demo how when they're reading. Um, and then I'll show you how you can add um, a YouTube video. Let me just refresh from here. Because I want to get you guys in the breakout rooms, I have a tendency to talk quickly, so I apologize if I'm saying like too much or speaking too fast. don't hesitate to interrupt me. Uh, Here, I'll just show you when I'm recording myself. I'm reading, what is outer space? It just has this little ding. And so students can record those, and then you can go back and you can check. So if you also want to put in videos, so far I've just been adding cards with just text, and then I did the image, and then the next option is video. This search is YouTube, but we have our own safe search built in. So even if the students aren't if they're at home, not behind the firewall, then if I search for like Khan Academy, linear algebra, then it finds, videos. Uh, I often advertise like, morning song to, when I'm working with like kinder groups. So, I mean, whatever you're looking for, you can add your grade level, something, something, eighth grade, whatever. And then you find the one that you like. It just plops it right in the card. And one thing that's really nice about Skies, again, having everything in the same place, you can ask the students to watch the video, and then you can allow them to respond. And we haven't talked about sentence starters, but say there's like three things about the video. This is, I love to just show cool ideas, but these cool ideas all came from teachers that were using Skies. Like after they said, do this, add a sentence starter. And then I would be like, oh, that's super cool. I'll share it with the other teachers. So now, from your point of view, I think I'm in audio video now. We see this card, um, and I need to turn it on because it's hidden, and now it's turned on, and so now here it is. Uh, and if I press this button, I could watch the video, ad free, by the way. There's no ads, and I could take notes, and about the things I learned here in the side. So I could pause it, So anyways, this is a video, how you can, kind of make use of audio and video. And then since I think we have just a few seconds, like I'll mention breaking things up. So I'll go into the last sub lesson here, and I'll just mention that um, with worksheets, so we have this worksheet here that I was showing earlier. And sometimes I go into this presentation mode, uh, and so sorry if you see things jumping around. Uh, I should sometimes remind myself of doing things maybe in a more visible way. So I'm going into presentation mode to kind of show you this. So sometimes what teachers have said is I would really love to break up my materials so they're like the perfect size for my students, like chunk things up. And so we have this thing called the chunker, or for like masking. And you can, let me make this a little smaller. You can take it and break it up into different pieces. And so say you only wanted to like do the first uh, a few um, questions on the first day, and leave the other ones. Then I can say run the chunker, and Skies will chunk up your worksheets. And then so you can see now I have these individual pieces. And the nice thing about that, teachers point out to me, is that let me just turn this on. I'll turn on responses for annotation. Annotate means that you can write on top of the paper. And now Skies is going to remember that that's what I want to do. So I won't have to do that again. We're always trying to save teachers time. So is that I can turn these off. And so the general principle here is that I can take it, break it up into, this, and then like if students finish early, I could say, hey, go ahead and work on the next one. And I'm doing this in the most simplistic way right now, but Skies is also has the ability for you to get into groups, do grouping very easily, very, very simply. And so we talk about that when we get into like the grading tomorrow's MyPLN. So today we were hoping to help you guys um, to make lessons, and we'll explain when we're in our we'll split up like 50-50. And um, it doesn't matter if you're high school or elementary school, because there's just one difference when we're setting up the course. We'll see if there's any questions, then we'll split up into two breakout rooms and we'll go through how to make the lesson. And a lesson is basically just to have some basic skies elements in it. And we know some people might need to leave or whatever. If, we appreciate your, here. We know how busy this stuff is. So I just want to also make mention that we have the ability to give you one-on-one support like no other company so that we can actually, you can have some of these lessons just, ready to go and be able to use them and feel totally comfortable about how you would, easily get the students in. Because we want to save you a lot of time. We're going to help you a lot. So there's these meeting slots you can go to. And so maybe we'll also, you guys could go ahead and share in the link, just so if some of you guys are looking for that, you have the link now, like you can look in the chat link, and we'll share this link. So you could sign up for one of the one-on-one sessions we already have on the calendar. But let me pause to see if there's any questions or comments, and then we'll break into our two sessions, and each of us will go over in the breakout room what we're going to help you put into your lesson and help you guys make a course in a simple skies lesson that you guys could use. So any questions, anything?